for those of you that didn't get to see the Western Jurisdiction special session last weekend, that's when a vote was taken to see if it's okay for Bishop Bob to retire, which he's been waiting for quite a while to be able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video. How long is it? It's 18 minutes, but it's entertaining. It's really cute video celebrating Bishop Bob's ministry, and it will be available in case you guys want to share it with your church, whether it's at worship for a celebration or just a link in your newsletter. I'll have that available. Okay. So let me go ahead and head over to that video. Okay, I'm gonna oh, I didn't do the sharing the right way. I always forget to select the share sound. Okay, now we're gonna do it.
Hi, this is Bishop Bob.
Hi, this is Bob Hoshibata checking in with you.
Hello, I'm Bishop Robert Hoshibata.
Bishop Hoshibata and I were in seminary together at the Claremont School of Theology. Bob was 1 year ahead of me, a theme that will be repeated throughout our long relationship. So he graduated and was appointed the senior pastor at the then North Gardena United Methodist Church. I had 1 more year and needed a job, so Bob hired me as the youth pastor there. Bob was a great boss, as he understood youth ministry, allowed me to roughhouse with the youth, put on crazy lesson plans, and do wacky things to attract youth. And we grew, and Bob grew the whole church. I graduated that year and took my first appointment behind Bob. We stayed in close relationship, even though we were in different annual conferences. When Bob moved to Blaine in Seattle, I naturally followed him with an appointment to North Gardena. When Bob became a district superintendent in Pacific Northwest, I would follow some years later as a DS in Calpac. I think we were elected about the same time to head our own General Conference delegations. But naturally, Bob was elected a bishop before me. Again, I followed him in Episcopal assignment to Oregon, Idaho, and now we'll follow him again to the Desert Southwest. I would like to beat him to retirement, or at least join him. But once again, Bob is beating me to it, which I don't mind because it seems now the natural order of things. So Bob, whatever you do next in retirement, be sure to check with me, as I may not want to follow you the next time around. Congratulations, my dear friend, on your retirement, and I hope to follow you very soon. Blessings.
Bishop Hoshibata. Bob and Greta Clinton, I can't even believe we don't get to be together in the same place to celebrate this passage into retirement for you. But here we are. Bishop Bob, God's been your companion since you were very young. I've heard many of your stories of God's presence in your life at various points. God's been present, giving you words, surrounding you in silence, speaking truth to your gut, and making you strong as a stone in a wild river. And you've responded by sitting and waiting, by speaking, by listening, and by holding fast when the currents around you were fast and roiling. I thank God for the enduring blessing of having been companions together in some heartbreaking but holy work over many years. And so at this passage in your lives, may God bless you and keep you. And may you and Greta live into that aloha spirit that you've carried with you all these years and that goes with you everywhere you go.
Bishop Hoshibata, I joined the United Methodist family in the Western jurisdiction and across our worldwide connection as we gather to celebrate your faithful ministry and now your well-deserved retirement. As you remember, we were elected to the episcopacy the same year in San Jose. We were consecrated as Los Altos United Methodist Church here in the California-Nevada Conference. It has been such a privilege to serve in the episcopacy, to serve our beloved church, our beloved Lord, with you in the class of 2004. Over the years, I have so appreciated your love for our Wesleyan faith and tradition. I've appreciated your rigor in ordering the life of the church in its servant ministry. I have appreciated your prophetic voice. And I've appreciated and stood with deep respect in those moments when you stood in uncomfortable places, even alone, for the sake of truth and justice. But I must say that I have most appreciated your zeal and your joy in leading us in worship and in song. In the Council of Bishops as our worship leader, often in our jurisdictional gatherings, and I am sure in the churches, the district, and conferences you have led. It is truly inspiring to experience your faith and your commitment through your invitation to us to sing with you unto the Lord. And what a joy it has been to get to know your family with you, through you, starting with beloved Greta. What a wonderful and gracious friend she has been to all of us. I remember recently your sharing that you long for the quiet days of retirement with its opportunities to be with your family, and your hope that you would be able to continue ministering to others, among them babies in hospitals in need of a human touch. As you shared that hope, we could all see you rocking little babies whose bodies and spirits would be comforted by God's great love flowing through you to them. I pray that God will bless you in your retirement. I know that you will continue to be a blessing for others, for us, wherever God may lead you. God be with you.
When I became a bishop, I was given a gift by Bishop Cal McConnell. And it is a life-size reproduction of the gavel that John Wesley carried as he went around in his travels as an itinerant preacher. It's a good gavel, but in my traversing, I found that what I think is an even better one because there's a lot more oomph to this one.
Hello, Bishop Bob, and congratulations on reaching this milestone. When you were the bishop in Oregon, Idaho, I was not much involved in conference leadership, so I mostly remember you in those years from the annual conference sessions in Salem. You led with grace and enthusiasm, and you always encouraged us to be all we could be. You led worship with such feeling, especially the times of singing. You made time to be with the youth at the end of a long day of meetings, and they loved it. And the people in the conference are still talking about your appearance with the children as Bob the Builder. I know also that the local churches you were able to visit in person were very grateful for your joyous presence. In more recent years, I've had the opportunity to see you in other roles in the general church and the jurisdiction. I so appreciate the way you've increasingly become outspoken in advocating for a church that embodies justice and includes everyone. You have supported the delegates of the Western jurisdiction in stressful times at General Conference with your words and your prayers, and in physically standing in solidarity with us. Although you did not have a vote, your influence was large, and your encouragement was so valuable. We will miss you, but I know as you move into retirement that you will be a huge force for good wherever you find yourself, and I hope you enjoy yourself and have fun.
All of you have been given a sock, and we are going to enter into what we call a blessing of the shower of socks. This is a deeply meaningful ritual that we are asking all of you to participate in with us today. These socks are going to be thrown at the bishop. Now, we do want to make sure that no bishops are harmed in this process. Yes. And so we have a special presentation, Bishop, to protect you. Somewhere. We have
Domine, benedicere pro la caligis. Domine, benedicere pro caligis.
I'm protecting you until it gets here.
Domine, benedicere pro caligis. Amen.
Doesn't fit.
Okay, sock it to me. You missed! That's what happened.
Hello, Bishop Hoshibata, and hello, friends in the Western jurisdiction. My name is Donna Pritchard, Chair of the Western Jurisdiction Leadership Team. I've been asked to say a few words about Bishop Bob on this occasion of his retirement. And I want to speak first to you, Bob. I want to say thank you. Thank you for the leadership. Thank you for the friendship. Thank you for the laughter. Thank you for the care. Thank you for the tears. And thank you for the prayers. Bob, you have been an amazing leader for all of us in the Western jurisdiction. I can't tell you how many times I had to film and refilm, take and retake this short little clip because I wanted to get it right. And of course, I won't tell you how many times I said something that sounded like oosh, oot, because I know how you feel about language and the importance of it. Bob came to us as a newly elected bishop into the Oregon, Idaho Annual Conference, where his visionary leadership really united the annual conference in a way that I'd never seen it united before. He set a goal for us to eliminate hunger in Oregon and Southern Idaho. And while we didn't quite complete that goal, we did come together in amazing ways. And local churches were empowered and inspired and encouraged to get into their communities and to make a difference for hungry friends and neighbors. You did that, Bishop Bob. You did that. And it is still to this day a shining moment in the life of the Oregon, Idaho Annual Conference. Thank you. As college president, Bob was one of the first to talk about how we might collaborate more completely across annual conference boundaries. Indeed, how we might see those boundaries as permeable, as something that we could flow between to help each other, always with the cause of mission in mind. It is clear that Bishop Hoshibata is someone who listens deeply, not only to those around him, but to the promptings of the Holy Spirit, and that he does his very best to follow those promptings. Now, Bob, I know it's been a while that you've been contemplating retirement. Indeed, it's been a while since you've been planning to retire. It's been a while. It's taken us a while to let you go because we love you. We will always appreciate the gifts that you have given and the leadership that you have exhibited. You have made a difference. Well done, good and faithful servant. We love you, Bob, and we wish you the best.
Bob, I give thanks to God for you. As a baby bishop, you've taught me so much immediately after my election. You and our colleagues demonstrated what courage looks like as you consecrated me, knowing in doing so you could pay a high cost in the Council of Bishops and the entire denomination. I don't know how many people realize that you put your ministry on the line. Yet, as the host bishop of the 2016 Jurisdictional Conference, you not only consecrated me, but welcomed Robin and me into the college family with open arms. I am the bishop I am in no small part due to the way you model faithfulness and leadership. Your humility, your deep spirituality, your passion for justice, your love of all people, and the tenderness and compassion you bring to every relationship helped me navigate this new role. Thank you, Bob, for so much. There's something I learned about you, however, that totally took me by surprise. How is it that a person from Hawaii could be so passionate about maple syrup? I have never met anyone in all my years of growing up on the East Coast in maple syrup country who loves it as much as you do. So my friend, as you enter into, and this is maple syrup, I want people to know, as you enter into a season of retirement, may the road be smooth, may life be sweet, and may love be a thing that sticks to you forever. Cheers, my friend.
And drink for sharing. No soon is bread. The great love of Jesus is done with milk and bread. We cheerfully belong. Heart our we are strong.
How cool is that? Such a great video. Sorry. I feel like we should have a moment of just quiet just to appreciate that. Okay, so yes, the special session was this last Saturday, and I know I had already been receiving questions before the special session when we first started talking about retirement was coming up. So now special session is over. Do you guys have questions about the transition? And Julie O'Neill, his executive assistant, is here to respond to those questions and thinking about what should you share in your churches? What will your church leaders be asking you or be needing? Nothing really. So I was wondering, so one of the questions that I had before was, when is Bishop Bob's official last day?
So his official last day is September 30th. And then Bishop Grant starts on October 1st of this year.
Thank you. And then I had another question about, well, not a question, it was a comment about, oh, so Bishop Grant is our newly appointed bishop then. And, you know, congratulations on your new bishop. What would you say to that statement, Julie?
So bishops are kind of, it's not appointed, it's called they're assigned. So it works similar to how pastors are appointed, but bishops are assigned to Episcopal areas. So our conference is part of the Phoenix Episcopal area. And Bishop Grant will be doing coverage during this period. And then because of COVID and because of all the postponements of general and jurisdictional conference, that's why there's this interim time period. But in August of 2022 is when, right now, general conference is scheduled. And then in November of 2022 is the jurisdictional conference. And that's where bishops will be elected that are permanent bishops at that point, and then they'll be assigned based on the number of bishops that will be determined. And so at that point, I believe Bishop Grant, he will be retiring as well.
Wow. So he's not really appointed or assigned. I don't know if that's he's not really our bishop at this time, right?
He is our bishop. He is assigned during this interim time period. So it's not like he's a substitute or temporary. He is the official bishop during this time, starting October 1st until probably January of 2023. But that's sort of the timeline of when we'll get a new bishop that's on sort of the regular schedule of assigning bishops to Episcopal areas.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll draw attention, I think maybe Christina mentioned this last week, but on the website, I think on the website, or in the newsletter that came out from July, there was an article that included a link to a document that's called, I think it's called Bishop 101. So it explains, how bishops are elected, how they're assigned, the role of the bishop, different responsibilities of the bishop. So that might be something that if you have questions that are coming from your church, lay members and sometimes even pastors, if they have questions, that can be a very helpful document to get some answers from. Yeah, it looks like Christina's pulling that up. So in the notice and the link that says plan for Episcopal coverage, let's see. Yep, so it's the very last thing, details and the role of election of bishops. Click here. That's that document. So some of it is written for the quote unquote normal time of the cycle of elections and things like that. As you all know, like I said, we're in a little bit off time period because COVID has bumped a bunch of our timelines off. But in general, that's the format and some information about kind of all the work that bishops do.
Hey, thank you, Julie.
Yep.
Appreciate that. So guys, you can go ahead and share the link to that main article, which includes other links in it for additional information about Episcopal coverage, or you can just share the Bishop 101 item. You know, it just depends on what it is that you're trying to communicate or what questions are being asked. And if you can't find what you're looking for, you could always just email communications@dscumc.org, or you could, well, yeah, I mean, maybe you have a specific question just for Julie and it's not necessarily a communications question. You can certainly send her an email as well.
And there's a link in that same post that takes you to the contact form where you can submit, or anybody can submit questions for the bishop or about the bishop, things like that.
Thanks. Okay, then. So any questions about this at this point? Any comments? Nothing? All right. Now, the other item, since Billy Fidlin is here, for those of you that don't know, Billy Fidlin is our Director of Justice and Outreach for the Desert Southwest Conference. You know, if there's anything happening justice-wise, if you see that there's a prayer vigil somewhere, if there's some major legislation going on, it's, you know, a lot of the mission type work of the United Methodist Church, and you have a question about it or want to get involved, even if it's something about grants, chances are the person to talk to is Billy Fidlin, Billy K. Fidlin. So she's here with us today. She is, like, as I said, our Director of Justice and Outreach, but she's also involved with an organization called AFN, Arizona Faith Network. So today she's joining us to talk a little bit about something coming up with that organization, which is one of our partner organizations in our ecumenical world. Billy, do you want to tell us about what's going on right now?
Sure. Thank you so much, Christina. And good morning, everybody. I loved that video with Bishop Bob. That was just hard not to cry. I'm going to miss him. But anyway, I wanted to let you all know, and the reason this is so quick is because it literally has come up very quick. The first meeting was last Thursday or Friday. The second meeting was last night. Arizona Faith Network, and also us, by extension of my position as president of AFN, as well as Director of Outreach and Justice for us. We are part of a coalition, and it's called the Arizona Coalition to End the Filibuster. We are hosting this Monday morning, now this we being the coalition, Reverend Jesse Jackson and Reverend William Barber. They are coming here. We are going to essentially engage in what's called a moral action, where we are going to go to Senator Kyrsten Sinema's office to have Reverend Jackson and Reverend Barber speak what are the demands that this group advocates for. And Christina and I will be putting out a press release probably either later today or tomorrow, inviting the general public. I do have a number of clergy right now that I've contacted privately that will be going with me down there. The general outline of this is that there'll be a meeting, a rally, if you will, at Cochina Park at 9 o'clock-ish, and then we'll walk the 1.5 miles after Jackson and Barber speak. We'll walk the 1.5 miles down to Sinema's office because there is no parking. We do expect a good number of people, so we'll do that march, if you will. And then what will happen is Reverends Jackson and Barber will go to Sinema's office. My guess is, because this is not, this has been sort of a regular occurrence in terms of dignitaries going to her office. So in general, the staff have been meeting them outside or at the door. The demands are to pass the filibuster, or excuse me, to end the filibuster, to pass the For People Act, restore voting rights, and also an immediate increase to the promised wage of minimum wage of $15 an hour. And so that's what they will talk about. Whilst Jackson and Barbara are making those demands, if you will, whoever is assembled, and we recognize that, yes, this could be several hundred people. We know Jesse Jackson alone will, be a draw. They'll be on the side, we'll be on the sidewalk, and then there's like a kind of a courtyard area by her office. I want you to know that there is the possibility that her office will call the police. And people have the opportunity to do a sit-in if they like. If you do a sit-in, then what you're also saying is, I'm willing to be arrested. I'm not one of those people, so I will probably leave at that point, as will a lot of us. Or the other option that we have that we're talking about is forming a prayer circle around those that would choose to protest in that manner. So would love to have you all there. If clergy want to come, we do ask. Reverend Jackson would like you in collars. And so you can pass that along so that we see there is a need for peacekeepers. This is a nonviolent action, and we do not want anyone to be in that anger mode or, whatever that might be. And so we are asking for people, if you want to be one of those helpers, it's called a marshal, to calm the waters. There's training for that. Or if you're willing to be arrested, which some people are, and that's fine. There's a training Sunday night, and this will all be in the publicity, I guess. Bishop Bob does know about this. He is in support of it, other than he is out of town, so he will not be joining us. I believe the Episcopal Bishop, Jen Rendell, who's just wonderful, she is going to be with us. Reverend Dr. Bill Lyons from the UCC Church is going to be with us. Dr. Warren Stewart, and other members of the African American Christian Clergy Coalition are coming out in full force. And so, this is really supported by the Christian community, and we're very happy at AFN, to have that happen. So that's the latest exciting news out of Justice. See you behind bars. No, just kidding. Any questions for me? I'm kidding, Jim. I'm kidding. Any questions? And by the way, if someone would choose to fall into that willing to be arrested category, we've already got a law firm that has agreed to represent everybody, and are collecting funds for bail money and all that kind of thing. But from a Methodist point of view, if something like that to occur at this, or for that matter, any protest or march or whatever, we as Justice people might take part of, always come to me for the money. I'm going to say no, but come to me. No, I'm kidding.
Thanks, Billy.
You're
So
welcome.
when, and you guys can still ask questions or whatever, but just so you know, so when that press release is ready, that's when I'll send out the Tuesday talks, and I'll include a link to that there. So it's all in one package.
And actually, Chrissy, while I was talking, the email came in with 3 different marketing pieces. So I think I'm just going to send those to you, and then you can let me know if we want to modify them or just send them out as is. Okay?
Sounds good. Thanks.
I'll forward it to you.
So if anybody has questions as we, maybe towards the end, something pops into your mind that you've got a question about it, Billy might still be here with us, but if she isn't, just email your question anyway. We'll get it to the right people. We'll get you what you need. Don't feel like this is the only time we can talk about this. All right. So are there any questions at this point or comments? I saw Billy and Jim put a finger up.
I'm very excited to meet Dr. Barber and Reverend Jackson. I mean, Reverend Jackson's been a hero of mine since I was a little girl. So, I'm just really hoping I'm going to show up really early in today's thing. I know, I'm like a child. I will say, by the way, too, prayers, especially both of them, but especially Reverend Jackson, I don't know if you're aware, he does have Parkinson's disease. And for him to come out here in the heat, I think is an amazing testament to how strongly he believes in, the good for all people his whole life, and certainly not ending now. Just one other piece that I'd ask this group to keep in prayer. I am beyond measure thrilled to announce we are interviewing a candidate for one of our churches who wants to be an international missionary. And that interview is going to take place on Friday. The process from General Board of Global Ministries is we assemble a team, and so that's all been done. And I'm just so excited. So that interview occurs Friday, and if you would just keep this young woman in prayer, that all goes well, because we haven't had a missionary out of our conference for a while, and so we're really pumped.
Awesome. Thanks for that good news.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys. So the next item I want to talk about is we actually talked about both of these items last week, and then turns out there was updates since then. The United Methodist Publishing House extended permission to use the resources for online worship through December 31st, 2021. When we talked about it last week, the permission was through the end of July. So we got until the end of December. It still doesn't mean that you can use the music that's in the hymnal, pages 170. Wait, we're not talking about the hymn. You know what? Let me share my screen and we'll see what it is that I'm talking about. All right, it is this one. Here we go. Online worship through December 31st. And I'll send you guys this article link so you can read it all in depth. Here we go. Each worship service is a one-time use. Therefore, churches are free to reproduce the liturgical text as needed, with the exception of the copyrighted service music on these pages. So they're saying you'll need either a one license or CCLI license to be able to reproduce those items or to include them in your stream. But any of the liturgical text you can include in PowerPoint slides for in-person worship, or slides for your streamed worship. That's all totally covered, no problem at all with that. Okay, questions about that? Okay, we're moving along. Okay, the next item is, oh yeah, and if you do have questions down the road about that specifically, and you want to contact UMPH directly, you certainly can. The email for that is permissions@umpublishing.org, and I will include that email address in my follow-up email to you guys. All right, so I had a question about copyright again. This one threw me out for a little bit, and I mean, looking at it now, it makes sense, no big deal. But at the moment, because the question about it, as I searched, okay, I'm going to share my screen first, because we were talking specifically about a royalty-free image. And so I was thinking copyright-free or public domain, and that's not what royalty-free is. First, what I want to do is show you guys a different way of searching for the Google image. Last week I showed you guys, you go to images.google.com. The way I showed you was about uploading the image. So I went to the web page that they were telling me about where the picture was available, and I just did a screen capture of the image and I searched for it. This is the way I showed you guys last week. So this is the image. But what I want to show you is real quick a different way of, let's see if this is the one. Yeah, I don't think that's the site that they were sending to me, but let's just go ahead and go to it, I guess, since it's there. Because you really didn't need to do what I did, which was take a picture of it and upload it that way. Instead, what you can do is right-click on the image that you're interested in on the website that you found it, and you can open the image in a new tab. So what this does is provides you with a URL that you can use to search your image. So let's go back to images.google.com. So you click on the little camera and you can paste the URL. So it's a little bit quicker, and if you don't have a quick way of searching for an image, see, so that particular one had this in it, so that's why it found that. Okay, so what else did I want to mention about it? Let's see, we were at Getty Images. Oh, because turns out when I was looking for that image, let's go back to that particular one. I'm going to find the one that I had, which is not that one. Promise this is going to get much more interesting in just a little bit. Okay, so the interesting thing about my search is that this came up right away. So it reduced my searches to only image sites that have that image and this language in there. I don't know why, because the article that they sent me had nothing to do with Canada or scouting. So what I want to do is, oh, this one, find other sizes of this image, all images. And so here's where I could see, this was the article that I was sent, like, oh, about this image. So as I was looking through there, I didn't see right away something like Wikipedia or some other like Pixabay, some site that offers free images. So then I changed to Creative Commons licenses. And since only this place came up, and it does even say licensable, when I started to look at that, it didn't seem like there was some funky stuff happening with that site, like just trying to get you to go to their site. But really you have to buy the images. So I went back to this search and I kept looking for something that wasn't an article, but something that actually has the, like a photo purchasing site. And I didn't spend too much time because I wasn't quickly finding something. So I went back to the original article. I figured, well, let's see what did they put in their caption, photo caption. So it said Getty Images. So that helped me figure out, okay, so I can narrow it down. And there it is again, Scouts Canada, and search for Getty Images. Anyway, I finally did find this image on Getty Images, and it wasn't like that. I think I uploaded the image again, and then instead of Scouts Canada, I entered Getty Images. So basically when I got to it, I started checking out more about their terms, and finally I landed on, oh yeah, that's all they were saying. It is it's a royalty-free image. What that means is if you were wanting to use it as part of your branding or marketing on something that you're selling or whatever, you're not having to pay somebody else every time that you use this image. You can buy it once and use it according to the license. One of the big deals is with Getty Images, you do have to purchase a membership to be able to use any of their images. So, and they show you how to embed the image and all this great stuff, but it is a photo membership site. So you can't use any of their images without actually purchasing a membership. So they're not copyright free. Okay. I think, do you guys have questions about that? Maybe I was a little confusing because I was going all over the place, but okay, looks like we're good. What else did I want to share with you about that? Nope, that's it. So I hope you guys like that video. I have it. What's that? Oh, Stacey, I'm gonna mute you. Okay, so if you guys are interested in repurposing that video of Bishop Bob's ministry and retirement celebration, I'm going to have that link available to you guys. Right now, it's already available in our Vimeo account, vimeo.com/dscumc.org. So you could just share a link to the video, but if you want to download it, I think all you have to do is add a hashtag, but I'll include that in the response email as well. Is there anything else you guys can think of that you might need for any of these items that I talked about? No, you're good. Okay, then I guess that's it for us today. Don't forget to send me your questions or ideas about something that I should share about in the next